in the U.S., you have no primary lead. It's all been shut down. It's all going to be secondary lead.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be pricing power for those people that own the assets.
Yeah. Yeah, which I guess if you're buying a U.S. business like Gopher, then I guess you can justify a high price, I guess.
Yeah, there's a way to get there, right? I'm not sure I would have paid 8 or 9 times, but there's a way to to get yourself there.
Well, I think they levered it 5.5 times, so maybe
okay. Yeah.
that might be that might have helped, but yeah, okay.
That might have helped.
Yeah, okay. And I guess despite all the headlines of lithium battery, I mean, I guess the argument for battery usage is, one, it's obviously driven by new car sales, which are still at highs, and then I guess the other thing is that.
No, it's not really. I mean, lead acid batteries for vehicles, for automobiles and light trucks and heavy trucks is an aftermarket business.
Okay.
It's 85% replacement.
Replacement. Okay.
So it's cyclical to a degree in that OE volumes go up and down, right? They went from a high of call it 17 million to a low in the U.S. of call it 10 million back in the depth of the recession. But there's 110 to 115 million car batteries sold in this country every year. So most of it, even in a high, automotive OE year of 17 million, there's still roughly 100 million replacement batteries sold in the U.S. on an annual basis. And that has historically been growing at 1 to 1.5% a year over the last 20 years. And that's what's driven by the size of the car park, the age of the vehicle park, et cetera, et cetera. That drives the slight increase annually in demand for automotive lead acid batteries in the replacement market.
Okay. And is that is the auto replace? Because I guess you have forklifts, Caterpillar trucks, all those.
Yeah.
Is that all? That's separate from this part. That's the other part.
That's separate from automotive. So if you look at that $65 billion market that I said is the global lead acid battery, about 54 or 55% of that are for automotive applications.
Yeah.
And the other 45 to 46% are industrial applications. Yeah. And that is the market that's growing at a more robust clip than the automotive. If you're looking at 1 to 1.5% growth rates in automotive lead acid batteries, you're probably looking at 3 to 4% growth in industrial demand.
Yeah.
But that tends to be a much more cyclically sensitive market. And if you think about it, there's a lot of lead acid batteries that go into telecommunication for backup power, and that's driven by capital spend by those telecommunication companies. If you think about batteries for forklifts, if you've had a significant drop in industrial production and distribution activities, the demand for forklifts and therefore forklift batteries, takes a pretty dramatic hit. Just as an example, Exide's industrial business from peak to trough in the most recent downturn dropped by order of magnitude 35 to 40%.
In terms of revenues?
In terms of revenues.
Yeah. Wow, that's a big drop,
Yeah.
Right, versus the cars, you would assume there'd be a small drop with new sales declining, but you still have the annual replacement, again, subject to weather and all those various things, but that should not be seeing the same type of declines, right? All right.
Correct.
Right. And by the way, when you're talking about the global market and those numbers, I mean, I assume it's very much a local market, right? You're not recycling batteries in America and sending it to Asia. I assume U.S. for industrial will be probably slightly slower or lower than the global demand for industrial?
No, I think the stats that I've been looking at suggest that industrial lead acid battery demand in the U.S. market You know,